So it is hot this summer. It's hot right now. It's hot in my garage. It is hot. I'm looking down and it says it's, what does it say here? 92 degrees. 92. Well, I don't like that. I'm just going to throw the thermometer out the window. Whew, that's how it works now, right? Don't like the number? Get rid of it. Yeah, because that solves everything. Let's chat. Welcome back to Trent 2.0. Trent Takes On 2.0. It's the full name of the show. Trent Takes On 2.0. Man, whew, I'm so bad at the intro because I very rarely do it. I'm Trent, the host of the show. I named the show after, well, my takes on things. So anyway, hey, it has been a crazy ass last week of my kids' summer. They're back at school now. They went back yesterday on a minimum day, so I didn't have a whole lot of time to do the stuff that I wanted to do. So I've been trying to make the most of their last week of summer. I don't know how we did. We did okay, I guess. Anyway, they're finally back at school, so I'm free. I am recording today's episode from my hot garage. That was not a bit. I will probably move indoors from this point for the end till the end of hot season, and then I'll move back out here when it's nice and cool again. But for today, I'll probably have to keep this a little bit abbreviated. This is actually last week's episode. I wanted to do a Friday episode, and I woke up to Donald Trump had moved was announcing for some fucking reason that he's moving nuclear submarines into attack position around Russia because Dmitry Medvedev said something bad about him on fucking Twitter. Like, holy shit. What else did he do on Friday? The other thing, he announced he's putting in a $200 million ballroom at the White House, which is something that you totally do at a place that you're going to be leaving in 3.5 years. Oh, by the way, he's totally planning on staying. What else did he do? The big thing I want to talk about, yeah, that was part of it. There's a whole bunch of Epstein stuff that's still happening. Oh, that's right. They moved Ghislaine Maxwell, the accomplice to Jeffrey Epstein, who was convicted of child sex trafficking and sex with a minor, and sentenced to 20 years. They moved her from a federal penitentiary in South Florida to a minimum security facility in Texas referred to as Club Fed. And they had to do a special waiver to get her there because they don't usually allow that for sex traffickers. So, yeah, that doesn't, it's probably not going to make anything go away, right? Surely you cut a sweetheart deal for the person who helped Epstein do all this stuff. Everybody who's up in arms about the Epstein files not being released has every right to be up in arms now because they could not look more fucking guilty than they do right now. It's insane. And no, it shouldn't go away. And yes, the only way to really have this out is to find out not who the victims were, but the other perpetrators. And those people need to come to justice too. Okay? There it is. I don't care who it is. If it's Bill Clinton, he needs to be brought to justice for that. If it's Prince Andrew, which apparently was on the list, definitely. If it's Donald Trump, I don't care who it is. If you broke the law, you need to be held accountable for that. Unfortunately, that doesn't happen in the Trump administration. The Trump Department of Justice is just covering up the messes of the most powerful people. Yeah. That's why they don't prosecute white-collar crimes anymore. Seriously. They don't. They announced we're not doing things like that. You're allowed to bribe, foreign entities are allowed to bribe American politicians now. Because they're just not going to enforce the laws. Put it on the list of things to be fucking outraged about. But what I wanted to talk about on Friday, like I said, all this shit just kept rolling out. It's like, what the hell am I going to talk about? The thing that I want to talk about was the jobs numbers. We had 76,000 new jobs added in the month of July, and they revised down the job. I'm sorry, did I say losses? We had 76,000 jobs created. I want to make it correct, right? With 76,000 jobs created in the month of July, that was down from the 100 and I believe it was 110,000 that they were expecting. And then they revised down the totals for May and June, total down 285,000. So very bad job growth is what it boils down to. And rather than even think about how those numbers come to be, they fired the lady who runs the Bureau of Labor and Statistics. A statistician. They fired a bean counter, somebody who counts things, somebody who runs this department and then publishes the report. They fired her because he didn't like the numbers. He didn't believe the numbers. He says they're partisan, they're fake, so he fires her. Well, this is what I want to talk about today. He never minded the numbers when they were bad for Biden. He never minded the fact that we do this every time. So every month we do a survey. Okay, this is what happens. You do a survey of all of these employers, tons and tons of employers, and you find out what their hirings and what happened to their workforce size. Did it grow? Did it shrink? Did you add new jobs? And the Doge bags, fired basically half of the people who do this survey thing, and all of the employers don't want to tell the truth anyway because they want to stay off the Trump radar, because the Mad King will turn on you at the drop of a hat if you announce like we're laying people off. He's going to come after you, even though what you're doing is attempting to preserve your business long term. If that's what you're trying to do, some business owners and managers probably lay people off because they feel like it. But layoffs are going to become commonplace in a country where the economic forecast is impossible to tell. Okay, you don't know what's coming next. You don't know what the tariffs are going to be like. You don't know what the tax rates are going to be like. You don't know whether or not the regime is going to come after your business specifically. It's a total shit show of a place to run a business right now. The United States is a terrible fucking place to be a business owner. It's a terrible fucking place to be anything but a huge corporation. And even if you are a huge corporation, you've got to do everything you can to stay under these bastards' radar, because they will literally investigate you for nothing. And they will sue you for nothing, and they will force you to eliminate your DEI programs, even though diversity in the workplace leads to a better workplace. They don't care about that. They don't care about the fact that we should be treating everybody equally. They think that it's all anti-white male is what it is. That's what they think it is, and that's not what it is. DEI programs force you to not hire the first white straight male that walks in the door, that you have to actually look around a little bit. And maybe you find somebody even better. I'm a white male, white straight male from the South. I'm not that great. There are lots of people who have been better at jobs than me. And I think that it makes perfect sense to try to level the playing field. Anyway, labor statistics are very important because it tells us the climate that we're working in. It helps people like the Federal Reserve determine interest rates going forward. How is business working out? If it's really high, if the economy's hot, you've got to keep the interest rates high, because you don't want to be giving away free money into a hot economy, because that drives inflation and will ultimately drive unemployment. So if the economy is hot, you keep the rates high. Donald Trump wants to claim that he's got a screaming hot economy, and he wants the interest rates dropped to zero. That is Economics 101 tells you can't give away free money when your economy is screaming hot. It doesn't work like that. You can't give away a bunch of free money when your inflation is high. That's what everybody barbecued, Joe Biden for, which is fucking hilarious because it didn't happen all over the world. Yet everybody else in the world had even higher inflation than we did. I don't know. Figure that shit out. It turns out that a little Keynesian economics goes a long way. You don't have to learn any of these phrases or terms, by the way. You don't have to know who Keynes was. You don't have to know you don't have to know much about economics. You just have to think. You just have to think like a person who has your own home. If you don't know, say you're a renter, if you don't know what your landlord is going to do when your lease is up, how can you plan for what happens after that lease runs up? I'm running into that right now. I don't know what our landlords are going to do. I don't know what the management company that's in charge of our ginormous complex is going to do. I don't know. Can I plan ahead? Can I say, well, I can make purchases now because I know that the tariffs are going to make these things more expensive later. I should make the purchases now. But if I make the purchases now and then my rent goes up later, am I going to be able to afford the purchases that I just made because I've got to buy on credit because I don't have a bunch of fucking loose money sitting around and I'm not liquid the way you can just shake my couch upside down and a few $100s falls out. It's not the way it fucking works. Like most Americans, we live essentially paycheck to paycheck, month to month. That's how it works. We're not rich like, Donald Trump and all of the people that are making these decisions. So they lack a proper frame of reference. So when they get these job numbers that they don't like, and then they fire the statistician, that's the equivalent, like I said in the opening, of not liking how hot it is, so you throw out the thermometer and you think that makes it cooler. It doesn't. The numbers are the numbers. Facts are facts. This is the thing that everyone associated with Donald Trump, who glom onto him and who hang on his every word and who will follow him to the ends of the earth. This is the thing that they all can't figure out. The lies catch up to the truth. Or truth catches up to the lies, whichever way you want to say it. He can't keep lying. And people keep believing it. Shit like this. He keeps saying that gas is as low as $1.50. No, it's fucking not. It's not $1.50 anywhere. Anywhere. Every month we get a price index from the gasoline that takes the nationwide average and looks at it, and we're over $3 still. So where the fuck is it $1.50, Donald? Nowhere. It's not. He just keeps lying, and he lies about obvious things. Here's the new thing. He talked about how they were lowering drug costs, as in pharmaceutical drugs, not like, meth. They're lowering drug costs by 1,500%. And then he went back and he said, not 50%, not 100%, not 200%, not 400%, but 1,500%. So you don't know how fucking math works because you can't lower something by 1,500%. If you lower it to 100%, it's zero. And you can't lower a price below free. At 1,500%, they would be paying you 14 times whatever you paid for it to begin with to take it off their hands. Instead of paying us $100 for that, we're going to give you $1,400, and you get out of here with that special medicine, you sick person. It's not the way it fucking works, dummy. You sound like a moron because you are. He doesn't understand tariffs. They don't understand taxes. They don't understand how to budget anything. These people are fucking terrible at their jobs. I've said that on this podcast time and time and time again. All Donald Trump is the king of debt. He finances everything, kicks the debt down the road, and then when they come for the paycheck, he declares bankruptcy and walks away from it. He's done it 6 times personally, and he's bankrupted countless businesses. He's a fraud. He's a phony. He doesn't know what he's doing. Also, it turns out he's a golf cheat, which people have been saying for decades, but now we've got 2 instances in the last week of a caddy dropping a ball for him to play. Now, anyone who knows anything about the rules of golf, knows that the only player who can actually drop a golf ball, or the only person who can actually drop a golf ball for a player playing in an official round, is the player themselves. No one else can do that. Which means those caddies were helping him out. Probably because they lost his ball, because he shoots like, well, shit. He cheats at golf, man. He cheats at golf. He cheats at everything. And now, of course, we're supposed to believe that he didn't know why Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein were, quote unquote, stealing his massage employees from his Mar-a-Lago spa. He doesn't know why they were doing that. They were doing it for a long time. He was friends with these people for 15 years. But he doesn't know. I didn't know what they were doing. Sure you didn't. See, that's the thing. Regardless of whether or not he was guilty of actually engaging in the acts, he knew about them. And he did nothing. And he's done nothing ever since. And he's lied about it nonstop. Which is not a surprise. He lies about everything. He lies about it 1,500%. The thing is, when you lie about easily disprovable things, or when you lie about things that people experience in their own lives, the lie doesn't hold up. When you tell people that he tells people that inflation is down and that grocery prices are cheaper, that is fucking false. I shop at the grocery store twice a week, every week. I know what's happening to prices. I've always known what's happening to prices. I've been shopping, been the sole shopper for my family for over a decade. I'm really good at it. But I can tell you that the prices continue to go up. Oh, mama, beef is out of control. Thank God I'm not allowed to eat red meat anymore. Although I did have some prime rib tacos last night at a special place. It was really good. I'm not supposed to eat beef anymore. I may cheat a little here and there. But what I'm saying is, when you lie to us about numbers, when you lie to us about jobs, when you lie to us about the creation of jobs, you don't think that we're going to figure it out. Because it's happening. Businesses are laying off employees because they don't know what the future holds. And if you can't plan for the future, you scale back in the present. That is business 101. You have a president who prides himself on being unpredictable. The problem with unpredictability is it's a terrible place to invest. You can't invest in something that you don't know where it's going to go in the future. Like, no idea. This guy breaks things nonstop. Every day, the arsonist in him can't stop setting fires because he has to do everything he can to keep us from talking about Jeffrey Epstein. And in this case, he's fired the head of the Bureau of Labor and Statistics. And now he expects us to take his word for it, or the person that he chooses. Maybe he'll choose one of his physicians who claim that he's 6'3" and weighs 224 pounds. Get the fuck out of here. I am 5'11" and weigh 240, and I look like a slender reed compared to that fat fuck. You're telling me that guy is 6'3", 224? You know who's 6'3", 224? Chris Hemsworth. That's right, the dude who plays Thor. Give me a fucking break. We're supposed to take this guy's word for it. He wears lifts in his shoes and makeup on his face, and he dyes his pathetic comb-over hair. And we're supposed to believe this guy? He lies to you every second of every day with his appearance alone. That's before he even opens his mouth. You should be outraged. We all should be outraged. The lying, the gaslighting, the straw men, every type of deceit and con that they could come up with, they continue to get away with it left, right, center. They continue to break law after law. There is no accountability whatsoever. They've shattered the norms of equal branches of government, providing checks and balances. He just behaves like a dictator and no one is stopping him. And we, the people, are infuriated. And in any normal republic, the people that we have chosen to be our representatives would stand up and go, okay, my constituents have spoken loud and clear. They do not like this mass deportation bullshit. They do not like the formation of a Gestapo in the form of ICE being given more money than every other federal police, federal law enforcement, all of them combined. The FBI, everybody combined. ICE is bigger than them now. ICE is the biggest police force on the planet. That's all you need to know. So that they can round up people and deport them without due process. And it starts with undocumented people. And then it goes to people that they claim are undocumented people. And then it just goes to whoever the fuck they feel like throwing out of the country. And the Supreme Court has greenlit them throwing them out of the country into third countries that they have nothing to do with. What does that pave the way for? If you're from Mexico and you get arrested and sent back to Mexico, well, at least you know what you're up against. But if you're, I don't know, from Oklahoma and they send you to the South Sudan, by the way, into a prison camp, what do? If you're from, I don't know, Guatemala, and they send you to Bolivia, what do? If they send you to Thailand or Vietnam, what do? See, some of what we are supposed to do as Americans is read between the lines of what all of these laws mean. The Eighth Amendment to the United States Constitution says that no one shall be the victim of cruel and unusual punishment. I would say that deportation to a country that they've never been to is about as cruel and unusual as it gets. That's not deportation, that's human trafficking. You're committing a crime just in doing that. This belief that there are that many criminals of foreign birth in our country is insane. And we're seeing the results of that. They're rounding up everybody they can get their hands on, and it's not enough. And they do it all with masks on. It's madness. The numbers don't lie. If you want to deport 1 million people a year, and you think that they say that there are approximately 13 million undocumented persons in this country. If you want to take 1 million of them out, are you saying that 1 in every 13 undocumented people is a dangerous criminal? Because that's what they promised they were doing. They were going to go after them first. Well, the first year's quota is 1 million. Are you going after the worst of the worst? Or are you waiting outside of immigration hearings for people who are trying to do it the right way, who have come here on various claims and are attempting to go through the process properly? You're just going to grab them and throw them out of the country? Yeah, that's what they're doing. That's what they're fucking doing. They lied to you. They keep lying, and they keep lying about everything. And the latest thing is going to be this Bureau of Labor and Statistics, the numbers. They're going to lie about inflation. They're going to lie about job numbers. They're going to lie about growth of our economy. They're going to lie about it all. And we are going to be the least trustworthy place in the world to do business. And it's not without precedent. Have you wondered why Venezuela is so upside down and backwards? Because Maduro did this exact same fucking thing. He fired the statisticians and he fired the people who told the truth. He controlled the airwaves. He controlled the news. And that's what Donald Trump tries to do with his lawsuits, which are fucking baseless. But they keep bowing the knee to him and they keep paying him off. They keep giving him these bribes to keep him off their back. Companies, law firms, media, they're all trying to buy off Donald Trump. And the thing about a mafia jackass like Donald Trump is he's never going to stop. If you pay him today, he'll want more tomorrow. It's like no one's ever dealt with a bully before. You can't give him what he wants because then he'll want more. This has happened before in Greece. Greece didn't do it necessarily malevolently. They fired the statisticians to try to hide the bad job that they were doing. And guess what? Came back to bite them in the ass, and Greece went fucking bankrupt. Does anybody remember this? It's not the only time it's happened. It's happened time and time again. And now the United States, the biggest economy in the world, is going to start cooking the fucking books to make Donald Trump look good? Oh, man. We're in a bad way, guys. And we need bravery. And we need to reward bravery when we see it. And when a media company actually dares to hold up the mirror to the emperor with no clothes, we have to support those media companies. We have to. They need our support. They need our viewership. They need us sharing their materials. They need it. So my pledge today is to get much better at that. I'm about to get much better at that. If you follow me on Blue Sky, you're going to see it. If you happen to be someone who actually knows me in the real world and has befriended me on Facebook, I'm going to hop on there once a day now and just share a couple of stories about the real deal, what's really happening. I can't hang out there because fuck Facebook. I still have that account, and I don't know why. I have nephews, and that's the only way I ever see pictures of their kids. I'm curious. I don't know. It's all madness. But how are we supposed to move forward if we can't agree on facts? And what is more factual than a number? The thing about statisticians is they can't lie. If you lie as a statistician, you don't last as a statistician very long. Because there's more than one person covering your beat. There's more than one person counting those beans. And if yours are the numbers that are always different from everybody else's, guess what? You're the one that's cooking the books. So I urge people to do the best they can, to find truth. Stick with it. Follow people like the Midas Touch. Follow people, or Midas Touch. It's a YouTube channel, podcast, Pod Save America, Fast Politics. I mean, Zateo News is another good one that's led by Mehdi Hassan. These are people who are just trying to report the news, honestly, trying to show us what's really happening. And if you don't think that these immigration raids are out of hand, you're either not on social media, or you've muted enough stuff that you just don't see it anymore, or you're not watching your local news where you can still find it on your local fucking news. We've got a long road ahead of us. It's going to be a hell of a fight. And everybody who gives a shit enough to listen to podcasts like this has got to get in the fight. Somehow, some way. We've got to get in this fight. So, next up for me is, take care of these kids. And then we're doing trying to find some ways to volunteer for races in Virginia and New Jersey, off-cycle elections, where at least we can show we're for real. It may not change the federal government, but it can change the state governments. And Virginia needs help. So let's fix it. Let's do it. That's going to do it for me today. Don't lie when it comes to... God, stop lying. Just be honest with each other. That's how we move forward. Because the truth always catches up, even if you lie. All right. Bless you all. Thank you all so very, very, very much for being with me on this journey. Please share this with a friend. Kick it out into the ether sphere. We need all the reach we can get. We need all of the echo that we can get in our chamber, I guess. I don't know. At least we're trying to be positive and trying to say that everybody deserves an equal shake in this world. Everybody in this country deserves equal protection under the law. Everybody in this country deserves an equal opportunity to succeed, an equal opportunity at life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. And if you're on board with that, I'm on board with you. We're in this together. So I'll be back with you a little bit later this week with another episode of Trent Takes On 2.0. Until then, like I always say, please be good humans. It's the very least we can do. Until then, love ya. Ciao.